Wild Bill Hickok was more than a gunslinger. He was a master marksman, a fearless lawman, and a scout for the Army during and after the Civil War. His piercing blue eyes, long flowing hair, signature handlebar mustache, and towering height over 6 feet made him a distinctive figure in any crowd. He could go for weeks scouting, hunting, fighting local tribes, and living off the land clad in buckskins like Daniel Boone. But when in town, he adorned himself in a Prince Albert coat and a red sash with a pair of ivory-handled Colt revolvers sticking out. He was well-groomed and never missed a daily bath. He avoided attention and spared his words for those moments when they were required, and he was rarely the cause of trouble himself, even when drinking whiskey, which he apparently consumed a lot of. But who is the man they called Wild Bill? Was he more scout or lawman? Was he more villain or hero? Was he more legend or man?
With a mustache that hung over his lip.
Hickok may have created his legend as a scout and U.S. Marshal in the 1860s, but he spent the last years of his life attempting to escape the consequences of being a legend as he took his last trail to Deadwood. And there's only one man suited for the job of bringing his last trail to life. In the following dramatization, Hickok is portrayed by Jerry Allen, who comes from a long list of actors who have taken on the role of Wild Bill on film and stage. One of the earliest portrayals came in the silent film era, with William S. Hart starring in 1923's Wild Bill Hickok. A cowboy star of his time, Hart played Hickok as a rugged, law-abiding frontiersman, more myth than man. Then came Gary Cooper, who took on the role in 1936's The Plainsman. Directed by Cecil B. DeMille, the film painted Hickok as a larger-than-life hero. The 1950s and 60s saw a flurry of portrayals, most notably Guy Madison in the long-running television series The Adventures of Wild Bill Hickok, reinforcing the romanticized version of the Old West for television audiences. By the 1970s, Hollywood was ready for a grittier take. Enter Charles Bronson, whose portrayal in The White Buffalo, 1977, presented a battle-worn, haunted Hickok struggling with failing eyesight and the ghosts of his past. In the 1990s, the myth was stripped back even further. Jeff Bridges delivered a raw, unflinching portrayal of Hickok in Wild Bill. This version, in 1995, Hickok was a man worn down by time, lost in drink and memories, yet still deadly when provoked. Bridges captured the loneliness of the legendary gunfighter in a way few had before. Perhaps the most widely recognized portrayal in modern times came with HBO's critically acclaimed series Deadwood. Played by Keith Carradine, this Hickok was weary, knowing his days were numbered but still carrying the aura of a man who had once commanded both fear and respect. Through the years, each actor has brought something unique to Wild Bill Hickok. Some have embraced the myth, while others have sought the man behind it. But few films or TV shows have actually provided the real history of Wild Bill, instead relying on myths or interpretations. Jerry Allen grew up watching depictions of Wild Bill and has written and performed songs about Hickok and portrayed him on stage for over 35 years. And in the next hour, he hopes to bring you the real story of his journey to Deadwood, including the cast of historical characters who accompanied him on this trail. And he will do so both in music and personal depictions of Wild Bill.
Better not mess around. Better look over your shoulder or be put 6 foot in the ground. He didn't play his cards right. He's a kid just running down.
Hickok was an anomaly in many ways. He bathed daily and attended to his stately appearance, though he was unafraid to rough it for weeks scouting for the army. Hickok's early years were spent in Illinois, growing up on a family farm until heading west to Kansas for cheap land, a place embroiled in pre-Civil War bouts of violence between the border ruffians and the abolitionist Free Staters led by General Lane. During these years, Hickok honed his skills as a sharpshooter and developed a reputation for bravery as he chose the right side of history when he, like his father, chose abolition. The turbulent times of the Civil War that followed saw him serving as a scout and spy for the Union Army, where his courage and marksmanship earned him accolades and a measure of fame. However, it was in the lawless towns and vast plains of the West that Wild Bill truly became a legend. As a lawman in towns like Hays and Abilene, Kansas, Hickok was known for his strict enforcement of the law and his uncanny ability to outdraw any adversary. His reputation was cemented by demonstrations of his incredible accuracy, both in gunfights and gun shows.
Came across this land. Some were trappers, others miners, some had Bibles in their hand. How the West was won is a story to be told. How the West was won, it was more than just the gold. It was for freedom that had pain. They had sunshine and rain. They had good times and bad times, glad times and sad times. You'll catch a Rocky Mountain fever that'll take you by surprise. You can see it in the cowboys when you look 'em in the eyes. It's a land of milk and honey, where the buffalo used to roam. It's a land that still has freedom if you're looking for a home. How the West was won is a story to be told. How the West was won, it was more than just the gold. Was for freedom that had pain. They had sunshine and rain. They had good times and bad times, glad times and sad times.
His nerves of steel were most famously demonstrated in the deadly encounter known as the McCandless Massacre, and his legendary shootout with Dave Tutt in Springfield, Missouri, where Hickok's single shot from 75 yards felled his opponent. Beyond his prowess with a gun, Hickok was also a gambler and a showman, often found in the saloons of the frontier towns where he mingled with other famous figures of the West. His life was a blend of rugged law enforcement, perilous scouting missions, and the high-stakes world of poker, a game that would ultimately seal his fate. As a lawman, Hickok was fearless, but his justice was swift and merciless. In Hays and Abilene, Kansas, he gunned down outlaws, tamed violent saloons, and held back the chaos of the frontier. But the price of his reputation was high, and he made powerful enemies. In 1871, during a tense shootout, Hickok accidentally killed his own deputy, Mike Williams. The mistake haunted him for life, and his time as a lawman came to an end.